Hi everybody, Patrick here from Engineering Shock Electronics. This is the video manual for the Easy Comms Shield. Just finished up on Kickstarter. Thank you to all supporters. If you have one of these coming to you, I really strongly suggest that you watch this video. Even if you're just you're putting the kit together from scratch. There is an assembly video, I'll link that below. But this is a very important video, lots of information here. I'll try to make it quick, anyway, let's just get started. So this is the shield sitting on an Arduino Uno, obviously, and I've got it plugged in. I've got some sample code. The sample code plays all of the audio bytes. You check out the lookup table at the project page for the word table for the Little Buddy Talker audio chip or the alphabet chip, whatever you chose. If you have an assembled version coming to you, what you're going to get is this, along with an LCD separately, and I packed them separately because it was safer to ship it that way. You're also going to get some screws and some standoffs. So what you're going to need to do is take your screws, mount them from the other side of the board, screw on your standoffs. I would suggest leaving them a little bit loose until you get the LCD on. And from there, you just tighten all of the screws and standoffs. You just tighten them, and the LCD will be on nicely. So I'm just going to do that quickly just to show you, and then we'll get on with the code. Okay, so I've got my standoffs on. Obviously the chip is not populated here because this is a spare shield. I actually ordered a ton of extra spare shields. I didn't realize that I was going to have so much left over, but that's beside the point. So you place the LCD, you make sure that all of the connections are made. There's two 6-pin headers right there, and there's 4 pins in the middle that aren't connected to anything. So once those are all in, place your 4 screws in here, tighten from both sides, and you're done. That is the shield. It's ready to be placed into the Arduino Uno. Now I'm going to remove it so we can talk about one resistor on this board a little bit later. But first things first, let's finally get a demo of this. I'm going to plug it in. The code sample blinks the LEDs, writes to the LCD. It gives you an introduction after 5 seconds. It starts telling you what word is being played in the lookup table. I've got a Little Buddy Talker chip in here, so I'm going to plug it in. Pat Mitchell's Arduino shield. Hopefully you can see that okay.
Color. Black.
And as you can see, it's playing word 2, 3. The LEDs are both blinking.
Orange. Red.
And it's playing word 7, word 8,
purple,
and so on. So it's just giving you all of the functions all in one piece of sample code. So I'm going to unplug. And there we have it. So that's just a fun little piece of sample code. It's so easy to use. It's so easy to write to the LCD using your own code. It's so easy to play words. Again, check out Leroy Miller's Little Buddy Talker Arduino library. Seriously, check it out at GitHub. It'll help you make sentences and whatnot with the Little Buddy Talker chip. My code sample is going to be much simpler. It just plays all of the words sequentially. Again, very easy to follow. But that said, this is the audio, the audio output. You just plug it in right here, and that's it. Just be gentle. You don't rip it. Rip at it. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's it. That's it. You have all of the Arduino GPIOs here. A lot of them are being used. Pledges will have access to the schematics, so you know what's being used and what's not. Now let's look at the empty shield again. There's a little jumper right here, and the actual both kits and assemblies come with a little jumper that shorts these 2 pins labeled LCD_EN for LCD enable. If you wanna bypass the controllable backlight, just jump that. Just jump it. Short those 2 pins together, and the LCD backlight will always be on. If you don't have a jump, you can use GPIO. Which one is it? I think it's 9. Actually, let me check. I was way off. The LCD enable GPIO is GPIO 3, so Arduino pin 3. So if you want to free up GPIO 3, just jump those two pins and then put the LCD back on. The LEDs are controlled by GPIOs 1 and 2, and the LCD uses GPIOs 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And the SPI lines to control the Little Buddy Talker chip are GPIOs 10, 11, 12, and 13. You have the analog pins and any remaining GPIOs to use. You can use the ADC pins as outputs too. It's very easy to do. So moving forward, again, this is a very simple shield. but you can make it talk to you. You can make you can have it speak to you in sentences. You can make a calendar. You can do all sorts of neat stuff with it. If you want to hear all of the audio bites again, you can go back to the Kickstarter page. Those videos will also be included on the in the project page. So I'm going to talk about something important now. When I was shipped the LCDs, I got a bunch of different ones. Now the LCD 1602s, there's about a million different manufacturers of these bad boys, and the contrast always seems to be a little bit different. Now there's a resistor on the main board right here that I needed to remove because I had set it to 2.7 kiloohms when I sent it out for wave soldering. And when I got the LCDs in, that batch of LCDs didn't like that value, and it looked, the LCD characters looked really blocky. So I had to change them all out for 4.7 k ohms and 5.1 k ohms. If you find that you don't like the contrast, it's not the LCD, it's the resistor here, and you can fiddle with it. You're not going to hurt anything as long as you're careful. You can desolder it, pluck it out of the board. You can even put a pot in there if you want, a variable resistor, and you can customize your LCD character contrast. So if you find that it is a little blocky, I'm assuming that the LCDs that were sent, I tested them all, but I tested them all using one shield. So if you find that you're not a huge fan of the contrast or you want to fiddle with it, don't be shy. It's very simple, desoldered right here, that resistor right there. I find that 4.7 k ohms gave the best contrast for me. But again, you might. I'm assuming that the batch of LCDs that I got are all the same, are from the same manufacturer. But you can fiddle with it. Don't be shy. You're not going to hurt anything because the pads are very, very thick. Just, you know, don't be violent with it. You can desolder, you can play with it as you'd like. It's a solid little shield. Okay, so what else am I missing? If you pledge towards the Big Buddy Talker, you can always swap this chip out. I mean, this is it uses the same pins as the Little Buddy Talker does. So if you had the Big Buddy Talker, that came with 4 different chips with 4 different libraries on them, and you can always plug it in right here. Just make sure that the notch on the chip is facing left. So you can swap that out if you want, just for fun. If you want to use words from a different chip, but yeah, it's a fun little shield that I hope you'll find useful. One thing for those of you who are a little OCD, there is a screw here that pushes on the top of this, and it doesn't hurt anything. It just makes it so that it's a little bit offset, just a tiny bit. It doesn't affect operation at all. But for those of you who are bothered by stuff like that, my wife is a good example. That would bother her. But it offsets by less than a millimeter. So if you really want to, you can always just unscrew that single screw on the upper left, and you've got enough, essentially enough structure to keep it in place. You don't need that screw. But again, that's just up to you. I didn't want to really bypass that. I'd have to make the shield much bigger or have the LCD going out over this way, and I really didn't want to do that. So I left that there, and again, it's not hurting anything. It's offsetting the board by less than a millimeter. But really a great shield. I really hope you like it. This video is primarily just for the Kickstarter campaigns because I don't think I'll end up listing this at engineeringshock.com just because I'm lazy. But yeah, I sincerely am grateful to the Kickstarter backers. I'm shipping a week early. The packages, all of the packages, about 130, are sitting at the post office right now being processed. Thankfully, while I'm not there, because I don't want to be doing that, the good people at the post office accept coffee and donuts when I have a huge Kickstarter campaign, and then I just go at the end of the day and I pay them. So thanks again. I'm very happy with the way this Kickstarter worked out. My wife gave me a hand getting everything packed up. Everything is being shipped air, which is something that's new. A lot of past Kickstarter campaigns have shipped ground, and people haven't been happy about that. So I've shipped air. Cost some more, but the last Kickstarter was shipped air, and I haven't had any complaints yet. So thanks again, everyone. I really hope that you like your shield, and I'm very grateful for the support. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again.